Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Families Focus for senior families, and an early congratulations to you and your students as you head towards graduation. I'm Erin McNabb, an Associate Director in the Office of Alumni and Parent Relations and proud member of the class of 2006. Thank you for attending today's event. This talk is being recorded and will be shared with all registrants, as well as on the Family Focus website. Please feel free to type in your questions in the chat box as we go along, and we'll try to get through as many as we can after the brief presentation. But before we get started, I just want to make a quick note about our presentation. At this event, we would like to specifically focus on commencement and the final tasks as we head towards graduation. There will be some talk of COVID precautions in regard to the ceremony, but we will not be taking questions about the current uptick in COVID cases on campus and the other Claremont colleges. So an update was sent out to parents today, and you can always visit hmc.edu/COVID-19 with the recent COVID updates at the bottom. So with that, I want to have our other presenters introduce themselves. Jennifer, why don't you go first, then Kim can go and start her presentation.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Green. I'm the Senior Director of Alumni and Parent Relations at MUD, and I'm happy to be here with you this evening.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Nycannon. I'm the Executive Assistant to the Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Dr. Marco Valenzuela, and I manage commencement for the college. And welcome. We're very happy to be able to celebrate the class of 2022 in person next month, and we wanted to go over some of the events and activities and some our COVID protocols regarding visitors to campus. Things that you could do now in advance of commencement. We are trying to keep that commencement website updated by the hour as things change. So it's hmc.edu/commencement. You could make your hotel and dinner reservations now if you're coming in from out of town, and share the schedule of events with your family and friends and other supporters that are coming to cheer your graduate on. Things that will happen soon. We will host a cap and gown day for the graduates the first week of May. They get their caps and gowns. They'll have a chance to order, if they want to order class rings or other things from Jostens at that time. You can order celebratory flowers for your graduate. There's a link to a local Claremont florist. It's a small business in Claremont called Sherwood Florist, very clever. You can order leis and they're picked up on campus the day of commencement. You cannot, they have to be pre-ordered. You can't make a purchase. They're not allowed to trade on campus. And you can order graduation announcements on the Jostens website. All the information for the Harvey Med commencement ceremony is loaded in there for you. We do require that all attendees to our commencement event be fully vaccinated and show proof of being fully vaccinated. That includes boosters for anyone who is eligible. All guests and graduates must, well, it says graduates, sorry about that. There's an edit I missed because we had the class of 20 and the class of 21 coming to campus and they needed to prove they were vaccinated. We know that the class of 22 is vaccinated and almost everybody is boosted. But all guests must show proof of full vaccination status with a corresponding matching state ID. Alternately, guests may provide proof of a negative COVID test taken within the last 72 hours of arrival to campus. Or if you unfortunately have tested positive for COVID in the 90 days prior to May 15th, the day of commencement, you can show us the positive test result. Once you have been cleared, you will receive a bright yellow wristband, and that shows the community that you have been cleared and you're welcome to attend our event. Face masks are encouraged and may be required based on the guidance from the LA County Department of Public Health. At our commencement ceremonies a week and a half ago, all of our activities were outdoor, and everybody was required to wear a mask as much as they could at all times, even though it was outdoors, especially when we're under the tent and we're all in very close proximity to one another. We want everybody to be safe and stay safe. So you can count on wearing a face mask throughout your time on campus, and especially throughout your time in the commencement tent. It's a very large tent, but you'll be wearing a face mask. Graduation celebrations, the consortium, the different affinity groups have different celebrations for our students, and they start a little bit earlier. The Queer Resource Center at Pomona College hosts Lavender graduation, and that's the last Friday of April. Thursday, the 12th, the Asian American Pacific Islander office hosts a graduation celebration. You'll see that that's at 5 o'clock on Thursday. And then Friday, May 13th, Black graduation is at 11 a.m. That's sponsored by the Office of Black Student Affairs for the Claremont Colleges. Baccalaureate is at 3:30 in the afternoon. That is sponsored by, it's a open faith celebration sponsored by the Office of the Chaplains. At 4 o'clock, we're going to have a gathering for international scholars and celebrations, graduates only on Harvey Mudd's campus. And the CLSA, the Chicano Latino Student Affairs Department at Pomona College is hosting their consortial celebration at 7 o'clock on Friday the 13th. Events on campus, on Harvey Mudd's campus on Saturday. This was a change that was announced in President Clave's email today. The senior lunch, the graduates lunch that is at noon on Saturday the 14th is only for the 2022 graduates, Harvey Mudd faculty, and Harvey Mudd staff only. I will acknowledge that that is a change and that may be a big disappointment, but President Clave explains it very well in her very informative email today. At 3 o'clock on Saturday, we have commencement rehearsal with the graduates. Because they're lining up at Harvey Mudd and then walking 3 blocks south to the commencement site, we'd like to rehearse that the day before. There's a map coming up, so you'll know where to park and where to be. Sunday is the commencement ceremony is at 1:30. The tent will open at 11. We will have the COVID check-in tables around all the perimeter of the tent, so you can get your wristbands there. Photos are taken at the ceremony by Grad Images. I was very impressed with them. They got the photos from the back-to-back class of 2020 and class of 2021 on their website by the Monday after commencement, which was like 48 hours. It was very impressive. Your student, the graduate, will receive an email with a link to the photos. So you're going to have to ask your graduate for that information. After the ceremony, we come back up to Harvey Mudd campus for a reception. Usually starts a little earlier than 3:30. The ceremony will not be 2 hours. Here's our map. The big bubble in the middle that says commencement site and drop off, especially important if you have, thank you, Erin, if you have folks with mobility or accessibility issues. The P in the parking lot, where there's a circle around purple where it says 6 and 7. There's a parking lot. That whole area is not going to be for parking. It's going to be for drop off. And the tent is hardscape adjacent to the parking area. So if you have anybody in wheelchairs or walkers or any kind of mobility assistance, that's a very good, convenient spot. We also will have accessible seating for those folks in the tent as well. The yellow at the top of the map, it's hard for me not to point even though, is Harvey Mudd, and where the HMC, thank you, Erin, where it says HMC in the middle there, that's where the reception is. So maybe it's a 2.5 block walk. And there is accessible parking at Harvey Mudd as well. If you need to drop off, the little parking lot in the middle there will be roped off for accessible drop off. And senior move out, we had some questions, some pre-submitted questions about this. Graduates, we need them to move out by 8 o'clock on Monday, the 16th. We do expect about 200 students to be living on campus for the remainder of the summer. Students who, for travel reasons, maybe international students, will not be able to go home. And we want to make sure that we can get the residence halls sanitized and cleaned and turned over as quickly as we can. So I know it seems very harsh and early, but we are trying to encourage students to be out as early as possible that Monday. And questions, commencement@hmc.edu. Those emails come to me and my colleagues in the Division of Student Affairs, and we're more than happy to answer questions there, or happy to take all questions this afternoon from you.
So before we move on to questions, I am just going to outline briefly some of the ways that both students and families might choose to stay connected with the college beyond graduation. So for students transitioning into young alumni, the HMC Alumni Network can be an incredibly useful and powerful tool. And the easiest way to plug into that is through Mudd Compass, which is Harvey Mudd's online community for alumni and students that allows them to find each other and connect directly and in real time through messaging or video chat. Young alumni can search for fellow alumni in specific fields or at companies of interest or by geographical location and different personal experiences, so they can connect for advice and support in many different ways. Young alumni can also serve in a mentorship capacity for current students, and many of them choose to offer their support in this way after graduation. And there's also a searchable jobs board where alumni can post or seek job opportunities and internship opportunities. So it's a great place to get started. And if your student hasn't already established an account, which some of them have, I would encourage them to do so post-graduation. Additionally, all of your graduates will automatically become members of our Gold Society for alumni who have graduated within the last decade. The Gold Society is designed to support recent graduates through the transition to post-Mudd life as a member of the alumni community. And through this program, recent grads will have access to exclusive professional development opportunities, to virtual and in-person social events and community service initiatives offered specifically to Gold alumni. And that's in addition to all of the opportunities that are, of course, open to the broad alumni community. So starting this July and continuing through June of 2023, your student will receive monthly Mudd Monday emails on the last Monday of each month. And these will contain helpful tips on ways that they can stay connected to each other and engaged with the college. So I encourage them to look for those. For families of our graduates, you are welcome to remain part of the HMC community for as long as you'd like and to whatever degree is appealing to you. You will continue to receive community emails from Mudd for the next year or so, unless you choose to unsubscribe. And this includes invitations to our virtual events and to in-person events once we resume those. And you're welcome to continue to participate by attending those as well. So some of you may wish to be in touch as a liaison to connect your companies to career services for recruiting, or to the clinic program or academic departments for partnership opportunities. And if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to us at parents@hmc.edu so that we can help. And then finally, just a quick tutorial on how to adjust or unsubscribe to our emails, should you wish to do so. In the footer of every official email sent by HMC, you will find links that will allow you to adjust your email preferences. You can see them circled on the screen in red. Clicking on Manage Subscriptions in the center will allow you to opt in or out of certain categories of emails. So for example, you could choose to continue receiving event invitations, but opt out of receiving the monthly e-newsletters. And then clicking on the unsubscribe link on the right, obviously will immediately unsubscribe you from all Harvey Mudd emails in the future. So I'll stop there, and Kim and I are happy to answer any questions if you have them again. And again, congratulations. We are really looking forward to seeing you in May.
Thanks, Jennifer and Kim. We've got a couple questions coming in. The first one being to Kim. When students are going to walk into the tent, I believe like as part of procession, are they coming in alphabetical order?
Sort of.
Sort of. It's a sort of.
So I don't know if we have the families of our two class presidents whose last names do not start with A. But they will be leading the lines, and they know this, so they know to tell their families that we're the first two in the tent behind the student affairs marshals. But other than that, yes, they are roughly in alphabetical order. It has to do with the seating chart, but yes, definitely, if you're in the first half of the alphabet, you will see your student in the first half of the lineup, and if you are XYZ, you'll take a moment and your student will get there eventually.
Yeah, there's some other hiccups with like student speakers and singers, and so it's not exactly
right
alphabetical.
It's mostly
close.
alphabetical. Yeah, we let the student speakers sit alphabetically as well.
Okay, great.
So if your student is one of the two student speakers that's going to speak at commencement, they will have to pop up out of their chairs and make their way to the stage.
Great. Someone is asking, where should visitors park when attending commencement, and then any of the Thursday or Friday events on campus?
The Thursday and Friday events are not on Harvey Mudd campus. They are either at Pomona College, Scripps College, or Claremont McKenna College. No parking permits are needed for the weekend. Parking is open. Campus safety knows not to ticket our visitors. They did not ticket our visitors during commencement weekend on April 2nd. So they honored that visitor-free parking. And anywhere, parking is open anywhere other than a red painted curb. So please, my father was a firefighter, so I just have to like put my little pitch in for the red curb.
Some people are asking about, say, department receptions or department virtual gatherings. Do you know of anything happening so far this year, or have plans been actually made, or they're still in the air?
Well, we were going to have them in person, and that was changed today. I know that the academic departments are working to create a different plan. What that is and what that looks like, I don't know. It's only been a few hours since at least it was announced to the community to change. I know that they want to do as much as, they really want to do what they can, but it may not be an in-person option, and we're not sure what that's going to look like at this time.
Great. Someone's asking when the graduates receive their diploma and shake hands with the president, or is that restricted due to COVID?
No, they'll be receiving their diplomas from President Clave, and they receive their actual real Harvey Mudd diploma with their name and their degree on it. It's not a fake diploma that gets mailed and then the real one gets mailed. They get their real diploma. And they will be allowed to take their mask down. The photographers take 2 photos during commencement, one during the handshake and diploma handoff with President Clave, and then your graduate comes down the side of the stage and they get a second, more formal photo taken in front of a large arrangement of flowers, and the photographer always makes sure that they have their diploma cover the correct side up and not crooked and so forth. So there are two photos taken. Students are allowed to take their mask down during the handshake with President Clave. I think you can understand that President Clave does not want to take her mask down for 222 handshakes. But we're going to do it in person, and there are going to naturally be some limitations.
A quick question, are there restroom access at commencement?
Yes, there's restroom access at the commencement site, as well as back up on Harvey Mudd's campus when we go back for the reception.
Someone's asking about vaccines. Are only vaccines that are approved in the US accepted as proof of vaccination, or any vaccine?
Um, the World Health Organization approved vaccines are accepted as being fully vaccinated. For the commencements we had a week and a half ago, I got really good at looking at, you don't need to send your vaccination information in ahead of time. In fact, please don't. But I did have some international families. I mean, they're traveling here from Brazil and China and Thailand. They wanted to make sure they were going to be able to attend. They did forward their documents ahead of time. We do have a very talented community at MUD, and actually, so they were able to be read, and we knew that the documents were going to be accepted. But yes, the international vaccines, just as they are acceptable for students, will be acceptable for guests.
Great. So do students need to pre-order their caps and gowns?
I already have them. They're here.
Already done.
They ordered them in January. Yeah, they told me how tall they are, and they have been received. We're ready to hand them out at Cap and Gown Day in a couple of weeks.
Perfect. So someone is asking for a little more clarification on where that commencement tent is exactly. I was trying to, and they want to know the closest building. So technically,
Okay.
it's
So to the north of the tent is the Garrison Theater.
on Scripps campus.
That's Scripps campus. I've lived in Claremont a long time. And to the south of the tent is the Honnold Library. To the east of the tent is the McAllister Center for Religion and Faith. It's the McAllister Center. And to the west of the tent is the Claremont Graduate University buildings. So this isn't just a tent, it's a structure. It's enormous.
It's hard to miss for sure.
Yeah. Right.
It's at the intersection. I think the north intersection is 10th and Dartmouth.
Correct.
So that can also help you find it.
10th and Dartmouth, and then it's 10th and Columbia on the east side.
Right. All right. Someone's asking, are RSVPs mandatory?
No, we do not need RSVPs for the commencement ceremony. We will have plenty of chairs.
And there is, so the whole weekend, because we've kind of condensed it down, there's no RSVPs for any portion of it, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Someone's asking what the dress code is.
Okay.
Super fancy, guys. Let's get real fancy here.
So I get asked this every year, and my advice to families is that this is a milestone event. A lot of people feel like they want to mark that occasion by being a little more dressy than usual. I will tell you, because it's fresh in my vision from a week and a half ago, some of the graduates came in suit and tie, and some of the graduates came in board shorts and shirts. So the graduate dress code runs the gamut. I would say the same is for families. So you should be comfortable. The weather can be very unpredictable. We've had very warm years and we've had drizzle, although I will mark my words, people, it's not going to rain on
It's
commencement.
not gonna rain.
It's not going to rain. It will not.
Sometimes it's a little cloudy in the morning, but it burns
Right.
off and it's
Right.
beautiful by commencement time.
Yeah. So I always recommend sunscreen and cardigans. Words to live by.
Yeah, I think they'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
If your student wants to dress nice, they're allowed to dress nice. If they don't, there is no required dress code by any means.
But do know that there is a little, the 2-block walk between
Right.
the commencement ceremony and the reception.
Yes. Someone's asking, are the leis picked up at HMC before the ceremony, or do the parents have to go pick up the leis beforehand?
The leis will be on Harvey Mudd's campus, but we're going to have them right down at the edge of the parking lot, right along Platt Boulevard. And they bring their own little easy up tent, and they're the only flower vendor there.
It's a good note that you can't purchase on site. At
Correct.
the commencement a week and a half ago, there were a couple of people who were like, oh, I need to buy it. It's too late
Yeah, they're not allowed to trade.
sell.
Yeah,
Got
to
it.
sell.
Someone's asking, can people use a photocopy of their COVID card?
Yeah, I would say most of the people that showed their verification showed
just
it
on their
on
phone.
on an app on the phone. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And you can have, so there's a lot of apps out there. You can have the card on one screen and then flip it and then your IDs on the other screen. Perfect.
So people are asking if the campus map can be added to the commencement website.
Sure.
We
Yes.
can- yeah, we'll do that in advance.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about boosters. Is it one booster or now some people can get 2 boosters?
Yeah.
Is there a difference for us?
No, there's not. Because the second booster is only for those of us lucky enough to be over 50. Got mine last week.
It's not just
So-
you, it's us that got J&J because I'm getting mine tomorrow.
Okay, there you
So-
go. There you go. Fully vaccinated is the initial series of 2 plus the booster that you're eligible for either 5 or 6 months after the initial series of 2. You don't have to have the second booster.
Great. Another person is asking about the ordering of the leis. Do they contact Sherwood Florist directly? Is that how they do it? Or is there, or the link's on the website? That's what it is.
The link is on the website or you can call them. They're wonderful.
Yeah, you can say Harvey Mudd College graduation. They'll know what it is. They're not that big of a place. Someone is asking if we can show the map again. So I was just gonna pull that up. It's gonna take me a second. Vamp, go for it. Right, this, share this. You're right. I'm getting it. It's happening. There you go. There's a big box in it. There you go. All right, Kim, describe it again.
Okay.
We're up
you wanna-
here. We're up here at HMC.
Yes, we are up here at HMC and that's where the graduates line up. And the little yellow line that goes through Harvey Mudd's campus and very good, Aaron, and across Platt and then down Dartmouth, that's the way the students walk to commencement. Then they go into the tent and the tent is really right smack dab on top of number 7 in the purple area. Purple is for the Claremont Graduate School or the consortium. The P next to the 7 and just above the 6 there is the accessible parking drop off. It is a pretty good sized parking lot, but we're not going to allow parking there that day. There are 2 entrances, one from 10th Street and one from Columbia, and you can drop off and it is hardscape down to the tent. Once you finish COVID check-in, it's hardscape to the tent and there will be accessible seating if needed. The way back to campus after the commencement ceremony is up Columbia or Dartmouth, and the reception is held on the lawn right there where the HMC is between buildings number 10 and 9. It's the whole lawn area.
Yes, and so parking, there's street parking on a lot of these side streets. So as we noted, you won't need a parking permit to park in there necessarily during this weekend. But so just as you're driving in, most people enter our campus from Foothill Boulevard. That's what's at the top here. And there's a street light at Dartmouth, which is right under these 12, 13, 14. So that's Dartmouth. And so it's very easy access to everything.
I would also add that Harvey Mudd is the last commencement ceremony of the weekend.
Nice.
The entire consortium does their ceremonies Saturday and Sunday. We're the last one on Sunday. So usually there's a little bit of a reprieve for parking. It gets a little bit easier towards late morning on Sunday.
Great. Someone's asking specifically about parking near those handicap stickers. Are you talking about which handicap stickers? I don't see them on the map. I don't see them on the map. But there's accessible parking all along the route, I would say.
Yes.
All right. Someone asked again, what time do we arrive at the tent?
You will be allowed to sit in the tent after 11 a.m. on Sunday, the 15th. Because we have to get our COVID check-in set up, and that's 2.5 hours ahead of time.
And there's a lot of seating. So you should not be
Yes.
you should not be worried about not getting a seat. This is a very large tent. We are not a large school.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat about very specific, like, I have this vaccination. It's been 6 months since that vaccination. I would recommend talking to Kim very specifically about your circumstances. I don't want to answer every individual case on the call right now.
Yeah, you can email that to commencement@hmc.edu. I'll be happy to answer individual questions.
Great. And then what time would you say the reception would be over after commencement?
Depends how long you want to stay and chat. I would say an hour.
Photos you're taking.
Yeah, photos. The faculty that participate in commencement are also at the reception to mix and mingle with. So, yeah, I would say it's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to your liking, depending on what time you made dinner reservations for.
Yeah, for the one that was a week and a half later, I was still sticking around about an hour after, so like till about 4:30. So, yeah, someone's asking about, do faculty attend?
Oh, yes, that actually is one of my favorite parts of commencement, is seeing the faculty come in, and they all wear their regalia from their universities. And we have some faculty members that have their regalia from European universities, and they're like even fancier. It's really beautiful. It's really nice to see. The president of the college has special Harvey Mudd regalia. You would never think. It's gorgeous. It's really, really nice. So yes, most of the faculty participate, and they come in after the students. The students lead the graduation procession into the tent, followed by the faculty, followed by trustees and the vice presidents, followed by the president and the keynote speaker.
I just noticed we have a raised hand from Bettina. I'm going to ask you to unmute and you can ask your question.
No, my question was about the booster. It's okay. I'll write Kim directly.
All right, thank you. Someone had asked about food at the reception. Kim, what are we serving?
That is yet to be determined. Jennifer and I are working on that.
Surprise.
Something good.
It'll be good. Yeah.
Someone is asking about virtual watching. So they say not specifically graduation, but I think we can include live streaming of graduation. But do you think there might be a live streaming of like the leadership awards or presentation days?
I think we're planning to live stream all of the above. Yeah. Which I think is nice, because families that wouldn't maybe ordinarily get to participate in presentation days will have the opportunity. I think that's what we did the last 2 years.
And so the live stream of commencement will be linked on the commencement website.
Correct.
Very easily and accessible. For presentation days or leadership awards, I would ask your student to share that link with you, because they will know the link for their presentation and that information as well.
Right.
Or
So the live stream of the commencement ceremony does not go live until 1:30. So I always get a lot of email inquiries to the commencement email address the day of, but there's nothing to see until 1:30.
Right,
So-
there's no pre-watch. You don't get to watch people, just reserve
Right.
seats for an hour. It just starts at
Right,
1:30.
right,
Got it. Okay. Someone's asking who the keynote speaker is, Kim.
His name is Terrence Tao. And I will give you his, one moment, his
Little bio.
little bio here.
Someone's asking if they'll live stream the lunch, probably the senior lunch the day before. I guess it's a little harder to live stream that one.
Yeah, I don't think so. Terrence Tao is a professor of mathematics and the James and Carol Collins Chair in the College of Letters and Sciences, the University of California, Los Angeles. And I understand he is a great speaker, so. we're
That's
looking forward.
exciting.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about the graduate lunch on Saturday. That is still happening. That is restricted to students, faculty, and staff. So
Correct. No off-campus guests. I'm very sorry.
that is for the safety of our students. Some people keep mentioning that previous information said students can leave by noon, but now it's been updated to 8 a.m. As a previous student of HMC who had to enforce the 8 a.m. rules, I remember it being 8 a.m. for a very long time, but maybe that's changed. But is there leeway? People are asking, is there leeway about that 8 a.m. kick out?
I am sure there is. The residential life staff would really prefer to have everybody at least awake and moving towards getting out by 8 o'clock.
It is very unfortunate. They usually task that to the incoming proctors to
Yes.
knock on people's doors starting at 8 a.m. And as a junior at that time, you are waking up seniors, and it is a difficult experience, I have to say. So if you can encourage your student to at least be awake at 8, that would be much more helpful, and be nice to the incoming proctors. It's not a fun job. Someone says it still says noon on the website. So Kim, can you just make sure
Oh. When I add the map, I'll get that too.
Yeah. And it does sound like they have to like graduate and then pack up and leave. Your senior usually has a bunch of free time that week leading up to graduation. As a reminder, they take their tests earlier. They do their presentations earlier. So they have a bunch of downtime when they should be packing it up and getting it ready. So it's not like 3 p.m. is when they start packing their rooms for the next day. So someone asked earlier about the restrooms at the commencement ceremony again. Kim, would it be possible to add that to the map potentially to the one
Yes.
you upload?
Yeah, they're right down by the Honnold Library, but I will make a note.
Yes. So they will be on the south side of the tent from that map, which was facing north. It'll be on the south side.
Southwest corner, yes.
Great. And then restrooms at the reception, there will be, are you guys doing the portables that you did for the last one?
Yes.
So there will be plenty.
Somebody had asked on a pre-submitted question about dorm auctions and
Yes.
donating items. And I wanted to let folks know that there's trash bins, recycle bins, and donation bins. And they are always your student, if they're not taking things home or to their next apartment or job, there's an opportunity to donate to charitable causes. If they want to donate things to the dorm auction, then it really falls on the students who are returning to campus to manage that, because they will be required to store it someplace, and storage on campus is only for large pieces of furniture, not personal belongings. So, and students do get storage pods off campus. They go in together and store their belongings, but your students will not be storing things because they're moving. But there's lots of opportunity to donate.
Kim, someone is also noting that the lay link for Sherwood Florist didn't work for them. So can
Okay,
you double check that one?
I definitely will.
Is there a cutoff to ordering lays? Do you know? Kim?
I don't know. That would be up to Sherwood Florist to tell you. I would, definitely try to do it by Saturday. You want to try to give them probably 24 hours.
Yeah.
But be in touch with them because they may be even more flexible than that.
Yes. People pre-submitted that question about tickets a lot. Kim, is there any restriction on the number of family members that can come?
There is no restriction on the number of family members as long as they all bring their proof of being vaccinated and boosted or negative test.
Great. Someone said that the link worked for them, so I am going
Oh.
to re-put it into the chat to make sure it works for the parent that had trouble with it. Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of the pre-submitted questions.
I actually had a question about water. That we do have water at the
There
convention
will be
site.
water.
Yes. But you can also bring a water bottle, but we do have, it's water stations. So you can get a cup of water, or if you have a water bottle, you can fill it from the 5-gallon bottle.
Yeah, people are asking a couple of questions about seating. So seating at the reception for people who can't just stand at a reception.
Oh, no, yes, there will be seating. There's round tables and chairs and very cheerful yellow umbrellas.
Perfect. And then is there any designated seating at graduation?
You can't sit on the stage.
Right.
And you can't sit in the graduate seating area.
Right.
But that's very obvious because there's names on all the chairs, so that the students go up on the stage in the right order and get the correct diploma. Other than that, you may sit wherever you would like to sit. We will have an area set aside towards the front and on the east side for folks that are in wheelchairs or have some other mobility assistance. And we ask that if you're going to have a family member that needs to sit there, that maybe only 1 or 2 of the family sit with them if you have a large group, so that we have enough seating for families with wheelchairs and so forth. But no, it's open seating beginning at 11.
I think someone asked earlier about access to the dorms, Kim, and just general hours they can access the campus.
So it is quite clear to me in President Clave's email today that we will welcome families to campus on Sunday after the commencement ceremony. We cannot have all kinds of visitors that haven't been through COVID check on campus all weekend. That would also extend to the residence halls. You have to be registered as a guest to be in the residence hall unless you are helping move out. And if you're helping to pack and move out on Monday, we appreciate that, trying to get your student out on time. But there won't be in and out of academic buildings or any of the buildings on campus. It's very strict.
Yes. All right. Are there any other questions I missed, Kim, from earlier that we didn't cover?
No, I think we got them all.
I think we got all the pre ones. And I think we've got a lot of the chat ones. If I didn't get your chat question, put it in again and I'll try to answer it, but they've slowed down. I feel like we've covered a lot. So no parents are allowed to help pack up before the reception on Sunday. No, if you are helping pack and like move stuff, is that okay, Kim? Or
yes, yeah, but not hanging, and you got to wear your face mask inside.
Yeah, and like limiting your time in general in the residence halls is very important. So just if your student does want to like start moving stuff into your car and you can help them on Saturday instead of Sunday, that is fine. Just really limit your time that you're
Yes.
around our students and in their living spaces, because that is their living space. Someone would like to visit the new building, you are welcome to walk around outside of the building, and I think we'll be limiting indoor access to the new McGregor building in general. Someone added, are there any snacks for families joining the event? What time are snacks? Kim?
The reception is after the commencement ceremony. So commencement ceremony starts at about 1:30 and should conclude by 3. And we expect,
Snacks are at 3.
and Jennifer and I are planning the food, so it'll be tasty.
Good food. Yep.
Right. Great. Well, I think that is, can we generally walk outside with family since it's their only chance to see campus? No inside is understood.
Yes.
Yes. So we're not stopping your access to campus necessarily. We would like to limit your access to the residential side of campus specifically because that is where our students are living. But we still give admission tours. People can walk around outdoors on our campus. So if you haven't been to campus in a long time, or if it's your first time, your family's coming to campus, you are welcome to take a little jaunt around. It's pretty small. If it's a lovely day, it'll be a nice walk. I think just being aware of limiting, especially if you see a bunch of students, maybe you divert around them, that kind of thing. But you are welcome to walk around outside.
And face masks are required outdoors on campus.
They are, yes, we are still wearing our masks outside.
Yes.
All right. I think we did it. Again, we are here to answer your questions. So thank you all. Thank you, Kim and Jennifer, for helping. And thank you for your questions from our families. We look forward to having you and your families on campus in May. And if you have more questions that we didn't answer, or you just want some clarification, you can email commencement@hmc.edu, or me and Jennifer receive parents@hmc.edu. And then always watch that commencement website for scheduling updates and information. Kim's on it. She'll update it with the talked about changes. And thanks again for joining us, and have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Thanks, guys.